I thought I would go over today information about the Wahls Protocol. This is what helped me heal. Dr. Terry Wahls, if you have not seen her TED Talk, you gotta watch it. And I bought her book, the Wahls Protocol, and I just started reading her book. I want to point out that it's a pretty thick book, and she's got diet and some exercises actually in the back of this book, but she does not have self-care or mental health or mental wellness. So these are two other healing protocols that you need to have. But I'm going to go over what she has in her book as far as diets. Have you been diagnosed with MS and you're looking for more answers outside your typical medical system? You are not alone. Hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm a nutritionist and a certified integrative nutritional health coach. And I became interested in holistic health because I reversed my own MS symptoms over 10 years ago. Yes, reversing MS is possible. I'm living proof along with so many others. And I enjoy helping others reverse their symptoms too. Are you ready to learn a few things today? I am. Let's dive in. Okay, so Dr. Terry Wahls. After I saw her TED Talk, I bought her book, and I realized that there is a lot of information in here. And also, when you read her story in here, you realize that she was a vegetarian before she got sick. But she's got in here 3 different diets. And these 3 different diets depend on what stage of MS you have. So if you are stage 1, remitting, relapsing, that's kind of where I was. That was the Wahls Diet 101. And then she also has the Wahls Paleo, and she's got the Wahls Paleo Plus. So the Wahls Paleo Plus is very strict. She doesn't allow any grains. Now, in the diet I did, I was allowed some grains, meaning she allowed rice and quinoa and certain kinds of grains, gluten-free, of course, and I was happy about that. But also on the Wahls Paleo Plus, she wants you to eat a good amount of animal organs. Animal organs actually have a lot of nutrients in them. Now, I cannot stomach them. I just am not a liver person or any other kind of animal organ person besides your chicken breast and chicken thighs, your muscle meats. But I learned after I got sick, like how nutrient dense animal organs are. And so she really pushes this towards the end of her book, The Last Diet. But I also want to back up a little bit and say, after I saw Terry's TED Talk, I was in awe. I thought, why don't we know this information? Why aren't we educated on this? This is insane. These were my thoughts. And after I saw that TED Talk, I got in my car, I raced to the grocery store, and I bought all these nutrient-dense foods, quality meats, and I just started eating like how she suggested. And I got to tell you, it was not very fun in the beginning, and she's got some recipes in the back of her book, but they're not that tasty to me. So that's why I created a cookbook, because I wanted people to learn that healthy eating can really be delicious. Because in the beginning, I really didn't know how to make foods out of like kale and spinach and some of these other vegetables that I didn't eat very often. And then years later, I created a course so people can go through it and find joy and learn and eat delicious foods while they're healing. This was not my experience at all, but I want to tell you a couple things that she requires. So, for example, when you think of vegetables, she wants you to eat per day 3 cups of dark leafy greens, 3 cups of sulfur-rich vegetables, and these are veggies like cauliflower, broccoli, asparagus, onions, garlic, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Okay, so she wanted you to eat 3 cups of that food category per day and another 3 cups of colored foods, including fruits. So she wants you to eat foods where the color goes all the way through. So, for example, apples and bananas or pears do not count. She wants you to eat things like berries, like blueberries, raspberries, fruits that are colored all the way through, and then blend that in with vegetables that are colored all the way through. So that would be bell peppers and some of those sulfur-rich foods that I mentioned as well, and things like carrots, celery, and root vegetables, for example. Now, I got to tell you, Terry Wahls is a tall, large-boned woman, and she can eat 3 cups of all of these veggies. Now, I'm a average size woman, but I'm more small-boned, and I'm about 5'6", so I'm not large. So what I did is I ate anywhere between 2 to 2.5 cups of each of these food groups. And that's what really helped me. And it was a lot. You know, when you're not used to eating this many veggies per day, this is a big change. And so that's why on my program, I have you make small changes as you go. I actually have you stay on your current diet, and week by week, I have you add things in slowly. And the whole point is if you eat enough of the good foods, you don't have enough room for the bad stuff. So my program is easy to follow, and it's something that's going to create joy for you because I've got all these great recipes, and you have fun while you're healing, and you learn as you go. You learn what foods support your body and what foods do not. You know, and then I had to learn what a quality meat is. You know, organic chicken, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, anything organic is very good for you and very nutrient rich when it comes to animal proteins. So, for example, if you have a hunter in your family, that animal that he brings back is from nature. And when you eat that animal, it's very healthy. And then she goes over some grains, and this is the beginner diet. This is the diet I was on. So these are grains that are gluten-free, and these are ones that she approves. These are things like arrowroot, buckwheat, chickpea flour, and other legume-based flours, coconut flour, corn, flax meal, millet, nut flours, oats. But on my program, I really don't want you to eat oats because many are cross-contaminated with gluten, and also many oats are sprayed with chemicals during their reproduction, during their growing phase. And oats, like a lot of other grains, turn into sugar in your body. So oats are kind of like the food that acts like wheat, meaning it turns into sugar really rapidly in your body. So I don't have people eat oats on my diet, but there's other things in here like quinoa. I love quinoa. I was happy to find that in here. Rice, all types of rice are okay. Sago, sorghum, soy flour, tapioca, teff. So all these are approved by Dr. Wahls. And then she goes over dairy. She doesn't want you to eat any dairy, none, not even cheese. Now in my program, I have you get tested. I have you send a couple of strands of hair on your head to a lab, and it tells you what allergies you have. And a lot of people are not sensitive to goat's milk or sheep's milk. This is casein A2, which is non-inflammatory for a lot of people. So a lot of people can eat this kind of dairy and be fine. And then Terry, of course, she wants you to stop eating sugar and all processed foods, which I do the same, but I have a better and easier way to stop sugar. So what I want you to do on my program is I want you to eat more fruit, and you can eat a little bit of honey here and there. And that usually helps you with your sugar cravings. But after about 6 weeks, you're going to find that you don't want regular sugar anymore. It's going to taste different. Your taste buds will change. And this is what happened to me. So when I eat conventional sugar now, it's way too sweet. It tastes like poison to me. And when you wean yourself off of sugar, that's what will happen to you too. And when you don't like it, that's a good thing. So that means you won't eat it anymore. And then she also goes over the dangers of trans fats, and I go over that in my program too. And you learn what a good fat is versus a trans fat. So a good fat is anything like butter from grass-fed cows, ghee, Ghee, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil. Okay, so I want you to start transferring your fats to these good, healthy fats. And she also talks about the potential harm of being a vegetarian or a vegan in her book, because she was a vegetarian and she believes this is part of the reason why she got sick. Now, also in her book, she does not allow eggs, and she explains it in her book. And the reason she doesn't is because she's allergic to eggs herself, and I am not. So for instance, I eat eggs from pasture-raised chickens only. We've got some friends who raise chickens, but at the grocery store, I can also buy eggs from only pasture-raised chickens. And the yolks are bigger. They're healthier for you. They've got more vitamin E and vitamin D in them, for example. And then she goes over fermented food she wants you to eat. So she goes over yogurts, but she doesn't want them to be dairy. Like, for example, I eat a really good coconut yogurt, and it tastes just like regular yogurt. It doesn't taste like coconut at all. And it's so delicious. And of course, it's sugar-free as well. And she approves kombucha tea. She likes lacto-fermented cabbage, like sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickles that have been fermented. Now, fermented pickles are different than most pickles you'll see in the grocery store down the aisle. Those pickles usually have not been fermented, and you can make them at home if you want. In fact, I've got a recipe on how to make them in my cookbook. Nutritional yeast is something that she really likes. Now, it's interesting because I've got a lot of health books, right? Because I became really interested in nutrition. I'm a nutritionist, and I've learned so much even after I healed. But there's a lot of doctors or holistic doctors out there that actually don't want you to eat fermented foods while you're healing, because a lot of these other doctors feel like these fermented foods will disrupt your microbiome as you're healing. But then after you heal, many of these doctors say that it's fine to eat it after you've healed. But Dr. Wahls says that it's okay. So, you have to make it your own decision there. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. There's a lot more information in this book, and I've learned a lot from her, but there's a lot of other books that I have, and I'll go over those on another episode. So I hope this helped you some. If you have any questions, reach out to me at info@nourishyourway.com. If you would like some support, and I've talked about my 12-week program, but I also have health coaching sessions. So if you just want to do health coaching with me separately, I can do that too. These are very affordable, and I help people all over the world. So reach out if you want to heal the quickest way possible, because healing from MS is indeed possible. I'm living proof, and so are so many others. So thanks for listening today. I will keep pushing these out, so you'll hear from me soon.